Hello and welcome to Gardening with Ben, the award-winning gardening podcast as voted for by the Grow Your Own magazine and by my followers and by my listeners. I hope that you have all clicked that subscribe button. If you're new to the podcast channel, please do click the subscribe button and then you get notified of all the new podcasts that get launched. And if you're not following me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube and TikTok, make sure you look for Gardening with Ben and follow me on all my social medias. So sit back, relax, grab a brew and let's enjoy today's gardening podcast with Ben. Hello and welcome back to Gardening with Ben for a brand new episode. If you didn't listen to the last two episodes, make sure you go back and have a listen to them, as one was talking about all the jobs which need doing in the garden in October, and the second one was everything that you can plant during this month. So if you're unsure about anything that you can be planting, that episode is definitely the one to be listening to, so that you can still continue that gardening throughout the winter period, because a lot of people relax and don't do much over the winter period. I tend to do a lot of maintenance during the winter period. I don't do much growing, but I have planted absolutely loads and loads of bulbs, which I'm sure you'll have all seen about on Instagram. So what's this episode all about today? I like to talk about what free seeds and stuff we're getting in the magazines in October, as some people are unsure whether to buy the magazines unless they know what's in them and stuff like that. So yeah, I get two magazines each month. I get the Kitchen Garden magazine and I get the Grow Your Own magazine. Obviously, I'm the award-winning influencer this month in the Grow Your Own magazine. So yeah, that was fantastic. So yeah, I do like to buy the Grow Your Own magazine as well as the Kitchen Garden magazine. Now usually each month you get 10 free packets of seeds. Well, they're not free because you're paying for them in with the magazine, but I see them as free when you get them on the front of the magazine. And trust me, each year I get absolutely loads of seeds, because obviously if you're getting 20 packets a month, 12 months of the year, you can think about how many packets of seeds I've got in my flat, and obviously I don't use them all, but I do give a lot of them away to other people that I don't use, so it's always good to share with one another. So what free seeds have we got in the magazines this month? Well, the Grow Your Own magazine, I'm quite disappointed because there's no seeds in it this month, and sometimes when they don't put seeds in the magazine, quite a lot of people do kick off because they do want the free seeds, and a lot of people do get the magazine for the seeds. I know I'm one of them. I don't always read everything in it, but I do get it for the seeds in it, because sometimes when you're getting the seeds, it's things that you probably wouldn't buy in the garden centre, so sometimes you'll think, oh, I'll just give them a try, see if they grow, and then you end up liking them. And then you do end up purchasing the seeds year on year because you've enjoyed them that much and they've done well, that you end up buying them. So it's a win-win situation for the magazine and for the seed sellers, because obviously it's promoting the seeds and they do get some good stuff in it. So what did we get in the Grow Your Own magazine this month? This month it came with 2 extra magazines in it, and yeah, I do like the magazines. Obviously it gives you lots of ideas, and the magazines this month was Green Living Ideas, and it's giving you ideas on upcycling, should I say, it's called, where you're using old stuff to make new stuff. And yeah, it's also fully packed with some delicious recipes as well, and it's giving you advice on how to like ditch plastic, use reusables, reuse other stuff, trying to think about food waste and composting as well. So it is quite a good magazine. Well, it's not a magazine, it's a newspaper, this one. So it's got some great ideas in it, so I'll probably be reading through that in the next couple of days and trying to get some ideas on what to do and how to do it as well. And also it's giving you ideas on how to make newspaper pots as well. So then they are all biodegradable and they'll rot eventually, so you're not creating any badness for the soil and you're helping the planet at the end of the day, and that's what we need to do. So yeah, that was one of the magazines, and then the other magazine is a year in flowers. Now this is perfect for me because flowers is my new go-to thing on the allotment. I'm getting absolutely into growing flowers now, and my allotment looked absolutely stunning this year. And I've only just starting to grow flowers. It's taken a while. Uh, all I used to just grow with fruit and vegetables, and now I'm seeing the benefits of growing flowers on the plot to attract the insects, to attract the bees, to help with pollination, and obviously helping the bees themselves as well. So this magazine is absolutely fantastic for me, and it's giving me ideas on growing roses, on nasturtiums, on growing a cut flower garden. A lot of people like to grow a cut flower garden, so then they can cut the flowers off and put them in a vase at home. So yeah, it's a good idea. And some other companion planting as well, what flowers to plant with vegetables to help get better produce. So it is a very useful magazine, so I'm going to look forward to reading that. And this year was about attracting lots more bees to the plot. Next year I'm going to look at ideas on attracting more butterflies to the plot. Obviously some butterflies aren't good for the plot because obviously caterpillars eat your vegetables and stuff like that. But as long as you've got them protected from them with netting, you can have the butterflies come into different areas of your plots because they do look absolutely beautiful, and I love them. I love to see butterflies. I don't see them as a pest, to be honest. If they eat some brassicas, fine be it. But yeah, I absolutely love seeing the butterflies and different varieties of butterflies as well. When they just come down and fly onto your plot and start sunbathing on the ground or on a flower and stuff like that. And sometimes you're like creeping up just to try and get a photo just for the Instagram and share with the followers. I know I certainly do. But yeah, I do love attracting the wildlife to the plot. So that's what we were concentrating on last year, was the bees. So I'm going to be looking at possibly looking into looking after the butterflies next year. I might even get a hedgehog box. We might look at getting a hedgehog box for the allotment. I do want one of those, as I absolutely love hedgehogs. And obviously having hedgehogs on the plot, they will eat all your sluggies up. So attracting certain wildlife to the plot is fantastic, and certain things you should be doing. So yeah, I'll possibly start looking at getting some hedgehog boxes onto the plot myself and see how we get on. Yeah. So what free seeds did we get with the Kitchen Garden magazine? They live up to expectation. They gave us some free seeds, so I'm happy with that. We should have 10 free packets of seeds. So let's have a look what we've got in this one. Usually they give seeds out what are ideal for the time of year, but they don't seem to have done that this time. They're just general garden seeds that you can use later on next year. So yeah, some of these we can save for next year. So let's have a look what we've got. So we have got a flower selection, a wildlife attracting garden varieties mixed. So that'll be a case of just sprinkling it in the ground and seeing what grows out of it. And again, that's for attracting the bees, and I absolutely love that. So I'm going to be definitely sprinkling them on my plot. And from the pictures, it's got some great flowers on it as well. And it says also on the packet, allow all flowers to set to seed to feed the wild birds in the autumn. You can't get any better than that. And that's when I'll start feeding the birds again through the winter period, looking after the birds on the plot as well. So we've got that flower selection. Then we've got garlic chives. Now it says we can sow these all year round, so we can actually sow these now if we want. Obviously it needs to be in a heated greenhouse or warm greenhouse for them to actually germinate. But yeah, we might look at starting some of those off. Tomatoes, moneymaker. It'll soon be that coming round again for planting tomato seeds. You don't think about it, do you? It's like October now, and you'll start sowing these in January, February time, as long as you've got a nice heated area to get them germinated. But yeah, it's soon coming round. It flies the year, absolutely flies. Then we've got some broccoli, some rab, and it grows in 60 days. And you can sow it between February and September, so it's just out by a few days. So obviously you possibly could sow some now. And yeah, It says harvest around May, November time. So you could possibly start sowing some of that now. Then we've got some mint. Obviously you need to be careful when sowing mint because it does spread everywhere. The best thing to do is grow some in a pot, and then it won't spread anywhere. And even if you don't use it all, it's just nice to like walk past and just rub your fingers on it and smell it. It's absolutely fantastic to have on the plot. I love having mint on my plot. Next up is lettuce, and this can be sown between March and July. So again, we're going to have to store that packet of seeds until next year, which is not a problem at all. Then we've got spicy salad leaves. These are ideal for just like snipping off and sticking in a salad bowl, just to add some oomph to that salad bowl, because sometimes it can be a bit plain and boring salads, but sometimes you need to add a bit of extra oomph to it to make it taste absolutely delicious. Then we've got some carrots again, so I'm in March to July time, so I'll be waiting on them for next year. Then we've got some scarlet kale. I've grown this before and it did absolutely fantastic. I was pleased with how well it actually did, and it tasted delicious as well. This can be sown between March and May again, so we need to wait until next year for that one. Then last but not least, we've got some cheval. Again, this can be sown all year round, so we can actually start some of that off now. So we might start a couple of the herbs off and get them growing in the polytunnel and seeing if we can get them growing. So yeah, I'm always up for free seeds. Like I said, I've got absolutely hundreds in my flat, and I had a big clear out last year, and I ended up finding bags of seeds hidden everywhere. It'll keep me going for years. But yeah, I absolutely love it, and some of these just fill in the gaps on the allotment and everything like that. So if you're wanting to go out and get your kitchen garden magazine and you grow your own magazine this month, obviously the kitchen garden magazine has got free seeds in it. The grow your own magazine hasn't this month. It's just got 2 magazines in it, so the choice is up to yours. So until next time, remember, keep smiling, keep gardening, and keep listening to Gardening with Ben's magazine podcast, not magazines. I think we'll end it there. Speak to you all later. Thank you for listening to today's Gardening with Ben's podcast. I hope that you've enjoyed it. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do click that subscribe button, and feel free to share it as well on your Instagram stories. All you have to do if you're listening on Spotify is click the share button, and you can share it straight to your Instagram story for all your followers to listen to, and help build my listeners up as well and get more people listening to it. Feel free to check out all my social medias: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube and TikTok. Yes, I'm on TikTok. Go check it out. Check out my dancing. Gardening with Ben. And check out the link as well in the description of this podcast, where you can check out my gardening t-shirt shop, where I sell funny t-shirts with all different funny logos and designs on. And feel free to support me by purchasing one, and all the money obviously goes back into my allotment, where I can share more gardening tips with you all. So until next time, remember, keep smiling, keep gardening, and keep listening to Gardening with Ben's podcast.